Hello, my friends, and welcome. Pro-life leader Frank Pavone here. I'm here to bring you my daily diary segment for today. What did I do from Monday, the 21st of April, through Thursday, the 24th of April of 2025? Well, on the morning of Monday, like the rest of us, we woke up to the news that Pope Francis had passed away. My phone rang at 5 a.m., and that's what woke me up. I answered the cell phone, and it was a national reporter. And he said, would you want to come on TV within the next hour to talk about the Pope's passing? And that's how I first learned that he had passed away several hours before that. So the day began with media, and it ended with media, and it was filled with media in between. I was here at my office. And what happened was I ended up hopping on a national program at 6:30 a.m., had some breakfast, greeted the staff, was on another national radio program at 8:40 a.m., touched base with more staff, and then was on Right Side Broadcasting Network national broadcast at 9:30 a.m., and then, in between these media interviews, was getting work done with staff and back at my desk, and had another media interview at 10:20 a.m. And then I was picked up by our executive director, Janet, and we went to a burial service for the father of one of our longtime staff members. Did that at the local cemetery, and then went out to lunch with the relatives and friends. While at that lunch, I was continuing to get media requests on my phone, and so came back to the office then in time to do a podcast interview, national program at 1:30 p.m., then a One America News interview at 2 p.m., a Newsmax interview at 3 p.m., a Real America's Voice interview at 3:15 p.m. At 4 o'clock, an interview with Lindell TV. At 4:30 p.m., another national interview. At 5:15 p.m., another national interview. At 6:35 p.m., yet another interview. That was with John Solomon, many of you know, and Amanda Head. And then I had a chance to get some dinner. Some of the things I had to do in between all this on my laptop had to do with, I wrote an article for the Gateway Pundit about the Pope's passing and sent it off to them. Got it published that very day. Work on another op-ed as well. Work on the healing prayers, getting healing after abortion prayers into circulation. Had staff helping me with that. Upcoming travel plans. Some social media work for the members of Congress. I had my social media team work on that. Papal coverage, of course, and emails about all these different media interviews. But the day didn't stop there. After dinner, I just took some time to rest, but then my last interview of the day on Monday was 11:15 p.m. on a big national radio show, and spoke for about 20 minutes or so about all these happenings with the Vatican. Tuesday the 22nd, the flood of media interviews continued, and so I'm here at my office, and the staff was here. I began, after greeting some of them that come in early, with an 8:22 a.m. interview, Real America's Voice. 9:30 a.m. interview, Chris Salcedo's radio show. You might see Chris on Newsmax. Various work at my desk, connecting with staff and doing things like preparing the email, approving it, I should say, and tweaking it, the email for the election volunteers, because we were getting ready for our monthly national training call for that. Approval of a fax to go out to all the churches. Communication with people who we work together to plan the Florida statewide pro-life march. Some work on a book endorsement, a lot of email communications about media interviews. working on the online broadcast schedule and on our prospecting, our mailings to get new supporters. Then the media interviews continued. 11:30 a.m. I was on with CPAC, Mercedes Schlapp. They have a broadcast called Uncanceled. They had me on to talk about the Pope. And then at 12:30, another interview, a podcast with our friends at Wall Builders. Then more work at my desk and with staff in between that. Then I had to leave for a dental appointment. So I had a regularly scheduled dental cleaning. So I went in the midst of all of this, got that done, came right back to the office and went right back into the studio and had a 4:15 p.m. interview on Newsmax, followed by some more work with staff, getting end-of-day reports, and then a 7:15 p.m. interview also on Newsmax, Rob Schmidt's program. And then at 8 p.m., I was most privileged, I think this was my favorite interview of the day, to go on the podcast with none other than Mayor Rudy Giuliani. So we had a great conversation online. You can see it, of course, posted on his social media and mine. That was Tuesday, the 22nd, finishing with that very enjoyable event. Wednesday, the 23rd, staff came in. It was Administrative Professionals Day, and we had a lot to do together. So work at my desk in the morning, trying to just focus in after all the flood of media those previous 2 days, a lot of desk work. Although media interviews continue to come in, I continue to respond to them. Email work that I did had to do with planning administrative meetings, a text to go out every once in a while. We send texts out to those who ask to be on our texting list, healing videos preparation, dealing with news about the closing of a notorious late-term abortion facility by late-term abortionist Warren Hearn, working on promoting a special broadcast about healing after abortion, helping staff to process some praise quotes, showing them where they were, in other words. Our Yellow Card project, following up on requests for information about different branches of our ministry, sending out an action alert to all our email subscribers. Did some online work in renewing my passport, which was expiring this month. Helped staff to update the prayer pages on both our Silent No More page and our Rachel's Vineyard website, so prayers for healing after abortion. This is Abortion Recovery Awareness Month. International pro-life directory, working with our international coordinator to get some contact information together for some key pro-life leaders in other nations. Some communication with our local congressman's office so that we could visit, as we've been encouraging others to do, regarding stopping the funding of abortion. And then email regarding the upcoming leadership meeting of pro-life leaders. Now, that was some desk work. The media interviews continued on Wednesday the 23rd, and among them a 2 o'clock in the afternoon podcast, national show, another 3:30 p.m. popular podcast, and then another 4:25 p.m. Interview on Newsmax. And then after supper, first of all, after the 4:25 p.m. interview, then I had a 5 o'clock phone call with the board of, not the board, but rather with representatives of the board of the Defending Life Alliance of Florida, and also representatives from the National March for Life, and we were making some plans together. And then 7:15, I had another Newsmax interview. After that, I drove down to the office on Merritt Island of our executive director because we jointly hosted our 8 p.m. national election training call. So we kind of shifted gears from all the stuff going on with the Pope and talked to our volunteers about elections. And this is a monthly call. We've not stopped the momentum after Election Day, and we want them to be focusing on getting ready from now for the midterms and other things. As well as lobbying for the Congress to stop funding abortion. And then when we got finished with that, I had some other meetings with Janet about some other ongoing projects, then came back to headquarters. And finally, Thursday the 24th, what did I do? Thursday the 24th, connecting with staff in the morning as usual, doing some tapings here in the studio, our morning briefing. Then at 9:35 a.m., I had another national interview in regard to the Pope. And at my desk and on my emails, I dealt with things like, then as a nice video of Janet, our executive director, talking with Pope Francis out in St. Peter's Square at a big worldwide faith event some years ago. Communication with the Abortion Recovery Coalition about the directory of leaders that we have put together. Plans for a Colorado trip to Night Vision, a big festival where we are present with the pro-life message. Preparation for the 115 Forum, a meeting of leaders, lots of communication with media, communication about our lobbying effort, communication with EWTN about an upcoming visit there. Then at 11 o'clock, pro-life leader Willie Guardiola, a Florida activist, came here to the office. I welcomed him. We had a meeting. We came in here to the studio. We did a broadcast. And then we went out for a quick lunch together, just a fast food lunch. Then I came back here and I had a meeting at 3 o'clock with our executive director, communications director, social media director, about steps we're taking to continue to grow our social media. I had a 4:30 meeting with our website department and discussing the digitizing of all our products. That's a project that's moving along. And then right after that, I had a meeting again with our social media coordinator about lots of projects that we are working on. And the rest of the afternoon and evening, I just worked quietly at my desk. There was so much to catch up with, and I was in a good work mood and got that done. That's what I did from the 21st to the 24th of April. I hope your days are going well also, that they're fruitful. May the Lord bless all the work we all do to save the unborn. God bless you.
Years ago, I got to know Father Frank on a pilgrimage to the Holy Land. He joined with a number of people with us. And I saw him as a very sincere, earnest young man. And I was delighted when he was my student in the seminary and he was ordained. And then I started to hear about his work with life. And I've been very pleased and amazed to stand on the side and see all that has been accomplished. There's no doubt in my mind this is a work of God, a work guided by the Holy Spirit. And now Priests for Life has a large organization, a number of people working here, quite a large number, and including a number of priests. And the priests throughout the country who have many responsibilities put among their interests and care Priests for Life. So I'm grateful, and I'm grateful to you for supporting this apostolate. In a way, you could say there is nothing more important than life. When there are dangerous situations, we call an ambulance. All the traffic stops. The ambulance comes to save a person's life, perhaps of a heart attack. Here we're talking about saving possibly millions of innocent unborn children. Isn't it terribly important? Isn't it of a great, great significance? And so I would encourage you, please, in your generosity, help Priests for Life. And I particularly appeal my fellow members of the clergy to support life and Priests for Life.
Hello, I'm Sam Brownback, and I've worked alongside Father Frank Pavone for many years on the cause of life. He's a true champion, and the Priests for Life have been wonderful champions of this great cause. of the cause of human dignity of every human at every phase of life, from the very first moment of conception until its natural death. The human species, the human person, each and every one are full of dignity, priceless in value, and Priests for Life stand for that. Join their work, work with them, work alongside them in this battle, this incredible battle, this fantastically important battle for life in the United States. We've got to win this fight. Join them.